ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now we are in the chapter of taxonomy. Now we are making out clear differences between the three families. We are discussing the floral characteristics. In floral characters we have discussed about calyx and corolla. Now let us continue our discussion with androecium. Let us continue our discussion with androecium. So we have three categories: Fabaceae, Solanaceae, as well as we find Liliaceae. In these three families, now we completed calyx and corolla. I hope you have to remember about corolla. Corolla is very important. So what you have to remember about corolla? Every time we have the possibility of getting the question. So the question itself is from corolla. So what is that we have to remember? Descendingly imbricate aestivation, because this is very important. You have to remember, very important. Descendingly imbricate aestivation, or itself is also called as a vexillary aestivation, or itself is also called as what? Vexillary aestivation. So when you take the corolla here, corolla if you take, what is the aestivation it shows? It's very important. Mostly we have on the final lead paper also we have a chance of getting the question from Fabaceae, especially corolla. Why? Because corolla exhibits a specific type of aestivation seen observed only in Fabaceae. That means descendingly imbricate aestivation itself is also called vexillary aestivation, found in Fabaceae, absent in case of Solanaceae and Liliaceae. Very peculiar, means very rare character. It's nothing but descendingly imbricate aestivation. And such type of corolla, as we discussed for the last class, it's called as papilionaceous corolla. What do we call such type of corolla? Papilionaceous corolla, right? So as you have to remember, in papilionaceous corolla, in descending aestivation, what do you find? The largest single petal or one petal, largest one petal itself is called as what? What do we call that one largest single petal? We call that as a standard petal. Itself we call that as what? A standard petal. Then we find two lateral petals. What we call the two lateral petals? The two lateral petals, they are called as wing petals. So how many wing petals? We have two wing petals. How many standard petal? We have one standard petal. Then next two are very small, and they are anterior in position. They are what position they are? Anterior in position. So two small, anterior in position, now they are called as what? The two anterior petals are called as keel petals. They are called as what? Keel petals. Okay, so largest one petal is called standard petal. The two lateral petals are called as wing petals. Two small, which side they are? Anterior side. When you write here this is anterior, automatically the largest one is posterior inside. So the largest standard petal is posterior inside. Two small anterior petals are anterior inside, and they are called as what? Keel petals. So one standard petal, two lateral petals and two keel petals. So what do you call the arrangement? 1 plus 2 plus 2 are fused. The arrangement is 1 plus 2 plus and 2 are fused. So this is very important. So you know that here this is how it appears: largest petal, two lateral wing petals and two smaller keel petals. This is the arrangement present only in Fabaceae, absent in Solanaceae and Liliaceae. So this part is very important. Now let us continue for androecium. So this part is very very important. Now let us continue with androecium. So when you take here, the next one is nothing but androecium. Androecium, if you look at androecium, the total number of stamens are 10 stamens. So remember the term 10 is very very important. Total number of stamens are 10 stamens. Then how the stamens are arranged? The stamens may be arranged monodelphous. Monodelphous. Monodelphous means all 10 stamens join together and form only one bundle. Right, all 10 stamens fuse to form only one bundle. That is called as what? Monodelphous. Monodelphous condition, where do you find? You find in case of Arachis, Arachis hypogea, that's nothing but groundnut, and other one is Crotalaria. Where do you find? Arachis and Crotalaria. Number of stamens are 10. Monodelphous means all 10 stamens join together and form only one bundle. Where do you find such type of arrangement? Arachis and Crotalaria. Similarly, in some members we find the condition called as a diadelphous. We find the condition is called diadelphous. The arrangement is 9 plus 1. So that means 9 plus 1 stamens, meaning 9 are fused, 9 stamens are fused, 1 is free. Okay, 9 stamens kept in bracket, meaning 9 are fused and 1 stamen is free. 9 are fused plus 1 is free, 9 plus 1 stamens. Diadelphous condition most commonly we find in the members of Pisum sativum, nothing but what? A pea plant. Right? And anther, if you look at, anther is generally it is a dithecus. Dithecus, basifixed, intros. And anther is dithecus, basifixed, and it is intros. Now let us continue with the Solanaceae part here. Now let us continue with Solanaceae here. Now we also take here androecium. Now let us have the comparison. For Fabaceae it is 10 stamens, but for Solanaceae it is 5 stamens. Okay, for Solanaceae it is 5 stamens. So for Fabaceae it is 10 stamens, for Solanaceae it is 5 stamens. Here when you take the 5 stamens here, let us go with epipetalous condition. What is the meaning of epipetalous condition? Earlier we discussed here. We say stamens are fused with petals. Right? That means here alternating with petals. Alternating with petals. If at all, if you remember, earlier we discussed this condition, epiphyllous, epipetalous. Epipetalous means you already know stamens are fused with petals. That means stamens means A, corolla means C, we represent arc. Arc says what is the condition? Epipetalous. And you find alternating with petals. So whenever you look for this condition here, then about anther when you take, anther is no doubt dithecus, intros, and it is basifixed. Anther is dithecus, intros, and moreover it is what? A basifixed. So dithecus is there, intros, dehiscence of anther is towards inner side, basifixed, stamen attached to the I mean what you call anthostyle, right? What you call anthostamen, right? The filament is attached to the anther at the base. That's why it's called as what? Basifixed. Now coming to the Liliaceae members. Now if you take Androecium, altogether if you look at Androecium, we find 6 stamens. The 6 stamens arranged in 2 whorls. The 6 stamens arranged in 2 whorls. When they are arranged in 2 whorls here, obviously the arrangement will be 3 plus 3. 3 are on outer side, outer whorl, 3 are on inner whorl. Similarly, if you look at here, we find very important condition that we call it as epiphyllous condition. What is that epiphyllous condition? Epiphyllous means in this case stamens are fused with. So here we say stamens are fused with perianth. Stamens are fused with perianth. As stamens are fused with perianth, that's why the condition is called as what? Epiphyllous condition. So here also the same here also we say anther, the other conditions are same. We write dithecous condition, we write introse condition, as well as we write the condition is called as a basifixed condition. Okay. Similarly, if you look at, so if you take these things, like dithecous, let us write introse, as well as let us write basifixed. So these conditions are generally we say they are common. Generally we say anther is dithecous. Okay, if you take in this anther is dithecous. That meaning here the conditions are very common. The conditions are very common, right? Because we generally speak about what we call as Androecium. Androecium with the introse, basifixed and dithecous condition. Now if you take here half superior. Now if you take gynoecium it is half superior, monocarpellary condition, unilocular, monocarpellary, unilocular. So if you take the gynoecium part, generally we say it is half superior ovary. What you have to write here? Half superior ovary. Monocarpellary means number of carpels is only 1. Unilocular condition meaning only one locule is present. That means here when you take gynoecium part, majorly we need to speak about what? A type of ovary. So when I bring here, the type of ovary will be what? Half superior ovary. This is very important. Gynoecium means the main character what you have to look for, the position of the ovary. What is that? Half superior ovary. Similarly, when you talk about Androecium, what you need to look for? What is the type of anther present? Obviously, right? So, when you look at Androecium here, suppose sometimes we have possibility of getting question. What is the question? Suppose if you get the question, the ratio between number of stamens. I hope this visible upper one, right? Yeah. The ratio between number of stamens between Fabaceae, Solanaceae and Liliaceae. Then what is the ratio you will get it? Here 10 stamens, here 5 stamens, here 6 stamens. Total number of ratio what you will get? So here 5 ratio you can take. 5 2s and 5 1s and 2 3s. So ratio will be 2:1:3, or directly you can take the ratio as, because 5 is there, no, so you cannot take the ratio. So what is the ratio you will get? 10:5:6, because here Fabaceae is asked, Solanaceae is asked and Liliaceae also. So you have 10:5:6. Suppose if the question between ratio between number of stamens of Fabaceae and Solanaceae, for these two if you take 2:1, right? Suppose if they take the number of stamens ratio between Fabaceae and Liliaceae. So here if you take 10:6, that is 5:3. So according to the question you have to take the ratio. So if you look at the stamens, either it may be monodelphous in Arachis and Crotalaria or it may be didelphous in case of Pisum. And how Pisum differs means in this 9 stamens are fused, 1 is free. In case of monodelphous, all are fused to form one bundle. Now if you take the anther, anther is dithecous. So if you take this is anther, anther is dithecous, meaning it is covered by 2 theca, means it is divided into 2 chambers. Similarly here also anther is dithecous like this. So if you look at this is anther, it has 2 theca, it is covered by outer theca, inner theca. Center you have what is called as connective and this is what is called as connective. And intros, what is the meaning of intros? Intros is speak about dehiscence. Sometimes we write longitudinal dehiscence. Sometimes we write longitudinal dehiscence. What is that longitudinal dehiscence? Longitudinal dehiscence meaning here we say it cuts longitudinally like this and opening is from outer to inner side. Meaning outer layers will break and open, next inner layer will open. So opening is from outer side to inner side. It is called as intros. Longitudinal means it breaks like this, half, exactly like a half, longitudinal. Base fixed. What is the meaning of base fixed? Here filament is fixed at the base of the anther. Why it is called, what is called base fixed here? Base fixed meaning here filament is fixed exactly at the base of the anther. That is why we call this one as what? Base fixed. Similarly, here also coming to Liliaceae, Androecium also we have 6 stamens like Perianth. Perianth also has 6 stamens arranged in 2 whorls, 3+3 arrangement. Epiphyllous, epiphyllous means stamens are fused with Perianth, alright, and here dithecous, same condition, intros, base fixed. Right. Now, let us go with what we call here gynoecium. When you take the gynoecium part, okay, so here if you take the gynoecium part, so let us discuss the gynoecium of Fabaceae, it is half superior ovary. Coming to gynoecium of Solanaceae, it is said to be superior ovary, very important difference, superior ovary. Let us make out in terms of differences. Fabaceae gynoecium here it is half superior, Solanaceae gynoecium is superior ovary. Coming to Liliaceae gynoecium also superior ovary. So here also you find superior ovary. Okay, so what is the difference? Fabaceae is half superior, Solanaceae is superior ovary and this is also superior ovary. Now coming to Fabaceae, it is monocarpellary, unilocular, meaning here how much you will take? Monocarpellary unilocular means only one carpel and one locule. One locule means the chamber where ovule is present. One carpel, one locule. Characteristic feature of Fabaceae. Then what you will write for this? Bilocular, let us write bicarpellary, and obviously it is bilocular condition. Number of carpels is only 1. Number of chambers is also 1. What is locule? The chamber where ovule is present is called locule. Monocarpellary means one carpel. Unilocular means only one chamber. Right? Monocarpellary unilocular condition. Similarly here, bicarpellary means number of carpels are 2 and bilocular means number of chambers are 2. Similarly, coming to Liliaceae, here we say it is tricarpellary, meaning number of carpels are 3 and it is having trilocular condition. See very clearly when you are preparing also, you have to see the differences carefully. Fabaceae have superior ovary and this is superior ovary and Liliaceae is also superior ovary. Fabaceae is monocarpellary meaning 1 carpel, bicarpellary is Solanaceae 2 carpels, tricarpellary is Liliaceae meaning 3 carpels. So, if only 1 carpel is there, automatically it is unilocular. Solanaceae it is bilocular, Liliaceae it is trilocular. Suppose whenever the question is about ratio between this all, suppose if the question is suppose if it's a ratio, if at all the question is about ratio between number of carpels of Fabaceae, Solanaceae and Liliaceae. Right guys, then what could be the option? Fabaceae is 1 carpel, Solanaceae is 2 carpels, Liliaceae is 3 carpels. So, what is the ratio you will write? 1:2, 2:3. Suppose if they ask between Solanaceae and Liliaceae, 2:3. If they ask between Fabaceae and Liliaceae, that is 1:3. As per the question, you have to choose the right option. Right. Then, coming to Fabaceae, if you take this is, it exhibits what is called as very important question getting point. This is also very important question getting point. Here one more question we can expect from Fabaceae, that is generally Fabaceae members exhibit marginal placentation. Fabaceae members, they exhibit what? Marginal placentation, legumes, pisum plant, Dolichos lab. So, this all will exhibit what is called marginal placentation. Marginal placentation is a characteristic feature of Fabaceae. Very important question. Half superior ovary, characteristic feature of Fabaceae. Monocarpellary, presence of 1 carpel, characteristic features of these 3 are characteristic features of Fabaceae. If Fabaceae is marginal placentation, then what about Solanaceae and Liliaceae? Now, if you take the Solanaceae, then it is said to be axial placentation. Fabaceae is marginal placentation, that is a very important difference. Next two are axial placentation. Solanaceae members exhibits axial placentation. Similarly, Liliaceae members also exhibit axial placentation. Very important. Very important. Gynoecium part is very important. Okay. So, Fabaceae members exhibit marginal placentation, but here Solanaceae is axial and Liliaceae is also axial placentation. So, number of carpels and type of ovary along with the marginal placentation, these all are nothing but characteristic features of gynoecium of Fabaceae, Solanaceae as well as we find for Liliaceae. Right. Let us continue further. So, if you take here for Solanaceae, we still continue with the gynoecium. So, if you take the Solanaceae here, we say generally style is terminal. Obviously, at the tip of the style we find the presence of stigma. So, here we say Stigma is bifid and capitate. Bifid and capitate. Meaning it shows some small invagination. This is stigma, it shows only one invagination. So it is like this. This is stigma. So stigma is bifid, means it shows an invagination. Capitate means uneven surface, not the even surface. It has some invaginations. So this is, we say, capitate. Now that is nothing but what we find stigma of Solanaceae. Similarly, if you take sigma of Liliaceae, if you take, here also the style is terminal, and here we say stigma is trifid. Stigma is trifid, and moreover it is capitate. Trifid and moreover it is capitate. So the characteristics which we have to remember. But very importantly, from the Solanaceae, we expect a question from Solanaceae. What is that from Gynoecium? So in this case, Gynoecium we are speaking, carpels are arranged. Carpels are arranged at 45 degrees. So in this case, the carpels are arranged with an angle of 45 degrees. This is seen only in case of Solanaceae, absent in case of Fabaceae as well as for Liliaceae. Carpels are arranged with 45 degrees. That's a very important character which you have to remember for Gynoecium of Fabaceae, Solanaceae and Liliaceae. So what are Gynoecium characters? Half superior ovary, here superior ovary. Monocarpellary condition, here it is bicarpellary, tricarpellary. Here it is unilocular, here it is bilocular, here it is trilocular. That is why we take the ratio 1:2, 2:3 means 1 carpel, 2 carpels, 3 carpels. Here very importantly we find marginal placentation, here it is axial placentation, and here also it is axial placentation. Other conditions are very common, but carpels are arranged at 45 degrees for Solanaceae members. Now this is nothing but what we have Gynoecium. Let us continue further. Any minute science? Sir, parle. So let us continue further with other characters. So let us continue further here. The Fabaceae and Solanaceae as well as for Liliaceae. Now, so if you take the Fabaceae condition, now let us continue with pollination. So if you take the pollination here, generally the flower is said to be protandrous. What is the meaning of protandrous? Proto means first. Androus meaning andricium. Protandrous meaning, guys listen carefully, this term is new term for you. We have not discussed in morphology. The pollination occurs in protandrous flower. Generally we call this flower as what? Protandrous flower. Protandrous. What's the meaning of protandrous here? I'll write the meaning here. In this flower, andricium matures and develops earlier than gynoecium. Okay, gynoecium. Okay, protandrous. What's the meaning of Proto means first. Prot means first. Androus means andricium. Suppose if you look at the flower is like this. We find a flower like this. In this, andricium is completely developed. Andricium matures, develops earlier than gynoecium. Gynoecium still in bud condition. That means andricium develops first completely. It matures and develops completely when compared with the gynoecium. Gynoecium still is in bud condition. Whenever androecium develops, matures first earlier than gynoecium, it is called as protandrous condition. Why generally this will happen? Generally this happens to prevent, why this will happen means to prevent self-pollination. Generally to prevent self-pollination. Okay, to prevent self-pollination, androecium is developed, androecium matures and develops earlier than gynoecium. Androecium is completely developed but gynoecium still in bud condition, so there is no possibility of undergoing self-pollination. To prevent self-pollination, in Fabaceae members we can see formation of protandrous flower. What is protandrous flower? Prot means first, androus means androecium. Androecium develops first than gynoecium, because here in Fabaceae it is a bisexual flower. I hope you got the meaning of protandrous. Guys, try to remember, this term is very important, and once again in next chapter, in other chapter also we are going to get the term called protandrous. At that time I will make sure that I will ask you guys, what is protandrous? Prot means first, androus means androecium. Gynoecium matures and develops earlier than gynoecium, right? Then what you find here? Here if prevent self-pollination, then what it undergo? It undergo what is called as cross-pollination. Then it undergo what is called as entomophilous cross-pollination. What it undergo is nothing but entomophilous cross-pollination. Okay, so when you take entomophilous cross-pollination, entomo means what? Insect. Whenever you get the terminology, entomo means insect. That means here what is happening? Cross-pollination. What is cross-pollination? In lower classes you studied the transfer of pollen grains happens from one flower of one plant to another flower of another plant. Then it is called as what? Cross-pollination. Then you can take here, what is entomo meaning? I am writing here. Entomo meaning itself is called as insect pollination. Insect pollination, scientifically we call this as what? Entomophilous cross pollination. Entomo means insect, try to remember. That means here pollination is taken care by who? Insect. What they will do? Insects will transfer pollen grain from one flower to another flower. That's why it's called insect pollination. Scientifically it is called entomophilous cross pollination. Then here the question arises, does you think in all plants cross pollination takes place? No. So here exceptionally in some members of Fabaceae, even we find occurrence of what is called as self-pollination. Where self-pollination occurs? Self-pollination occurs in case of Pisum as well as Lathyrus. As well as where do you find? In case of Lathyrus. Very important, because I kept 3 star marks, no? Very important, right? So I say again, pollination mostly happens in protandrous flower. Androecium matures and develops earlier than gynoecium. Entomophilous cross pollination, insect pollination, and here self pollination mostly occurs by Pisum and Lathyrus. Then coming to Solanaceae, pollination here. In Solanaceae also we find what is called same, that is entomophilous cross pollination. Here also we find same entomophilous cross pollination. Okay, what is the meaning of that? That is nothing but insect pollination. If you want, you can write pollination is taken care by insects. That's why it's called as what? Insect pollination. Entomophilous cross pollination itself is called insect pollination. Then what about the type of flower? So here maybe in some plants you find protandrous flower. In some plants you may find protogynous flower. Protogynous flower. Now in some members of Solanaceae you find protandrous flower. In some members of Solanaceae we find protogynous flower. What is protandrous? Proto means first, androus means androecium. So we already have discussed androecium matures, develops earlier than gynoecium, that is called protandrous. And what is meant by protogynous? So here what we say, gynoecium matures and develops earlier than androecium. Earlier than androecium. What's the meaning of this? Protogynous meaning, proto means first. First who? Gynoecium. So if gynoecium matures and develops earlier than androecium, it is said to be called as what? Protogynous. So if you take this is our, so if you take this is in this case, gynoecium is completely developed. Now you can say gynoecium is completely formed, but androecium still it is in bud condition. When androecium still it is in bud condition, then gynoecium is completely developed first than androecium. So gynoecium matures and develops earlier than androecium. Such type of flowers are called as protogynous flowers. As usual, for what purpose? To prevent self-pollination. So I'll erase the diagram. So if you look at the conditions here, in case of Solanaceae, mostly we find protandrous condition. Most of the flowers are protandrous condition, but so what you call protogynous flowers are some species of Solanum. Some species of Solanum, generally they exhibit the condition called as what? Protogynous. Mostly protandrous, but some species of Solanum you find the condition called as protogynous. Here also what you find is entomophilous cross pollination. Right. Now let us go with Liliaceae here. So here in case of Liliaceae, if you take, here also we write pollination. Now here also Liliaceae members also we find protandrous condition, protandrous flowers, and in Liliaceae also we find protandrous or maybe protogynous, protandrous or maybe protogynous. So as we discussed, proto means first, androecium develops, matures earlier than gynoecium, protandrous flower. Protandrous flower we find in case of Allium. Okay, we find in case of Allium. What is protogynous? Protogynous condition we find in case of Colchicum. Try to remember these two examples. Protandrous condition we find in case of Allium. Protogynous condition we find in case of Colchicum, and here also generally it also exhibits same, that is entomophilous cross pollination. It exhibits what? Entomophilous cross pollination, meaning here the pollination is by insect. Insects are involved in transfer of pollen grain from one flower to other flower. So here also entomophilous cross pollination, here also entomophilous cross pollination, here also the same, but self pollination is found only alone the characteristic of Liliaceae, and mostly in Solanum protandrous, but except some species of Solanum you find protogynous, whereas in Liliaceae protandrous condition is observed in Allium, protogynous condition we find in case of Colchicum. So these things are very important for us to remember when it comes to the matter of pollination. So let us continue further. So when you take here self pollination, especially if you take the condition called as here self pollination, especially if you take Physum. Before I erase the board, so what are the important things we have discussed for Physum so far? Physum generally it exhibits the condition called as a diadelphous condition. What is diadelphous condition? Total number of stamens found are twin stamens. What are the conditions we find? Total number of stamens we find are nothing but 10 stamens. Out of the 10 stamens, here what we say, 9 stamens are fused and only one stamen is free. Only one stamen is free. So the condition is said to be 9 plus 2, 9 plus 1. 9 are fused, 1 is free. The condition is said to be 9 plus 1, diadelphous condition. Total number of stamens are 10. In that 9 are fused, 1 is free. So, and the same pisum. Earlier we have discussed in andrecium, number of stamens are 10, diadelphous. What is the example? Pisum. The same pisum example also exhibits what is called as self-pollination. Self-pollination we find in case of both pisum as well as lathyrus. Why pisum here? Pisum, what is a common name? Pisum common name is nothing but pea plant. Right, lathyrus is also commonly it's called as wild pea. So, both are nothing but pea varieties. Both are nothing but pea varieties. So, here both pea varieties generally exhibit self-pollination, and remember a pisum and lathyrus, out of two, pisum has diadelphous condition. Pisum exhibits two important conditions, one is self-pollination, other one is diadelphous, where 9 plus 1 condition, 9 are fused and 1 is free.